Welcome back to this week's episode of the Overflow Podcast. This is Joaquin, and I'm back. We've got our Christmas song. This is a classic. And we're going to be talking to our boys from New Release Today about their awards. We Love Christian Music. That's going to be coming out in January. So with that being said, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm Jay.
And this is the Overflow Podcast at thisisourcry.com. Always got to repeat it, right? You always got to repeat yourself. This is the Overflow Podcast. Overflow
It's branding. It's branding. It's for the sake of branding.
I mean, we're terrible at branding, but when we do it annoyingly. Hey, what's up, Jay? How you doing?
Chilling.
Oh, awesome. So this week, I'm excited to talk to our guys from New
Release Today.
They should I'm going to tell them they need to change their name to New Music Today so that I can remember it. New Release Today. They've been doing it forever, right?
Yeah.
New Release Today about their awards.
The We Love Christian Music Awards.
We Love Christian Music Awards.
I think it's the 6th year that they
so
do these awards.
Should be interesting. I'm back.
Things have changed, right? You're back.
My belly button is back to what a belly button should look like.
Yo, we should, instead of the Christmas song today, we should put the VeggieTales belly button song.
I didn't even think about that.
It just came to me now.
Yeah. So
no.
I had I had surgery last Thursday. That's why we weren't able to do the podcast, and everything went well. I go see the doctor tomorrow or today, depending on when you're listening to it, and or last Friday, depending on when you're listening to it, and hopefully everything's check out. I still have a little discomfort, but hopefully we'll be able to get that worked out tomorrow and be good.
Awesome.
Now I just can't lift anything.
So what's
heavier than 20 pounds?
What's the crima song? Because we're Puerto Rican, so we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate crima.
So the crima song is a fun song.
Tell them your idea, the idea that you had.
So what it is I thought this year for Christmas, this is one of the most famous Christmas songs, one of the most popular Christmas songs, because it is been covered a lot. And why would you guys think that we like it? Nothing to do with us speaking Spanish or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to just jump into the Christmas song for today. And then when we come back, we're going to come back with Kevin and Marcus. All right. So
New Release Today.
The song is from Unspoken. And we'll let you figure out.
Well, it's not going to be that hard to
figure out.
We'll
let you figure out the title to this song. Here you go.
It's been a long year, a long road, and I'm thankful to be going home. And as I head out to my own house, I got a fire burning in the stove. And my prayer is that no matter where you're at, you find a hope that fills your soul. For the Prince of Peace is there wherever you go. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. As I look back, I know that you can't buy to satisfy your soul. So hear the heartbeat of a baby set down to save the world. And let's remember this December, the greatest gift you'll ever know is a Savior born in a manger, pointing us home. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, felicidad. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of our hearts. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. We wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of our hearts.
And that was what?
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
But who's the band?
That was by Unspoken.
Right.
Which,
And you know what was dope about this cover
is dope.
is that they added their own filler lyrics.
Correct.
Right. So that was pretty cool.
So, all right. So now
Drum roll.
on the line, we have Kevin and Marcus
Of where? Of what?
from New Release Today.
All right, you got it.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Going
Thursday
well.
night,
Thank you.
deadline night.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, thanks for being here. And I just want to warn you guys that you are dealing with a couple of amateurs.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna tell them you're dealing with a couple of Puerto Ricans. Like they dealt with us for like 5 days. They're good.
No, amateurs.
I'm 132nd Puerto Rican, so Kevin's outnumbered.
Oh boy.
Poor guy.
32nd?
You're Mark.
A 32nd. That means he's allowed to have one toston
Or
That's right.
a year.
a year. Hey, you just came back from Puerto Rico, didn't you, Marcus? How was it? How'd it go?
I did. It was awesome going there, and sad at the same time. I mean, it's a beautiful place. My first time. They need a lot of help still, and but you know the church is active and moving and helping out a lot, and so it was good to see people banding together and how much pride there is down there for for the island. It was awesome.
Yeah. Pride is something that
we're never short of.
Never short of.
No. It's like I have a cousin who lost a fence.
Right.
They rebuilt it and then painted a huge Puerto Rican flag on it.
Yeah.
You know,
that sounds,
Nice.
we're gonna stand. We're not going anywhere.
that sounds about right. But yeah, I have friends that I stay in contact with in case they need anything. But yeah, the only thing that I've heard out of Puerto Rico is how the church has banded together and they're helping out. Except for I met a guy last Friday he was in the Army, and he just came back from helping in Puerto Rico also. So that was cool. Thanks for your 30-second help, 30-second% help.
Yeah, he only worked for like an hour a day. Like he was like, that's enough of my helping.
That was of the day. Yeah, actually, I drove. I got to see my great grandparents' home city of Añasco. I drove past it. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Well, that's always
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So when are you going,
I
Kevin?
go back.
Yeah. It's way too humid for me. I can't do minutes.
Really?
Come on.
I love it.
No, we got if we're serving others, right?
Wait a minute.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, you gotta suffer for the Lord.
Yeah, you gotta exactly. Right? You gotta
It's called suffering, servant. It's not called sitting in air conditioning, servant.
you gotta be serve the least of these. Well, I've got a house down there, so
And I got family, so
Hey.
you're good. So let's go ahead. So let's go ahead and why don't you guys just to kind of give us a little background on kind of the website, what you guys do, and then from there we definitely want to jump into the We Love Christian Music Awards because me and Jay were looking at it. I was looking at it earlier today, and then when he was here talking, it's a lot of interesting things that we saw on these awards, and we just got questions for you guys. So get ready.
Excellent. Yes, well, we just launched the We Love Christian Music Awards. This is an idea that Marcus and I hatched 6 years ago. So we're in our sixth cycle now. We were standing in line for Jay Leno show in Burbank, California. We went to a Biola Media conference and had a little free time, and so we went to go see Jay Leno and stood in line for 4 hours and had a lot of brainstorming. And we thought, you know what if we took the whole Christian Music Awards idea, flipped it on its head, did something really different and unique, and what would that look like? And this is what kind of came out, and it has grown into its own beast. We manage it every year. It is a labor of love. And last year we, in fact, called it our little love letter to the industry. It's something that we do because we feel no one else is, and that's why we're passionate about it. So the concept is pretty simple. If you're familiar with award shows, we take a category, and we have 24 of them this year. We do 5 nominees in each category. Editorially vote for those nominees internally at New Release Today. And then once we announce the nominations, we turn it over to the public to vote. And that's the phase we're in right now.
And we focus on what's current in Christian music. I mean, there's a lot about the awards that are not like other shows. And one of those things is that we rotate categories every year. Some stay the same, but there are some that come and go, and some that are that only exist for 1 year or a handful of years. And it's all about how can we celebrate what happened in Christian music in one particular year. Oh. And so taking a look at what happened that year and what best reflects what happened that year. So like the first year we had a category called Best Lecrae Collab. We're not going to have that this year because everybody first year. And so it was like he did so much that it deserved its own category. But this year there are a lot of movie songs out there. And so we have a category called Best Movie Song. And that's new. We've had Best Movie in the past, but this year it was like Best Movie Song. Lauren Daigle doing her thing with the Blade Runner song, the Shaq soundtrack being as huge as it was, and some others. So, we really look at what released, and then we see what patterns kind of emerge out of that.
That's pretty interesting. That actually answers one of our questions because, yeah, well, I mean, we went through all of the everything. We went through the entire site, and we saw a lot of, like that one, like the movie song. First of all, I had no idea that Lauren Daigle had a song in the new Blade Runner. So thank you for that piece of information.
Yeah.
But like a lot of these categories, they're pretty random. Pretty random. So
yeah,
that was one of our questions. Like how, what was the process? How do you come up with these categories?
Well, I think that to us, it doesn't feel random. It feels unconventional. And I think you're not going to see that in the K-Loves or the Dove Awards because it is so unconventional. But when you look at the year in Christian music, and we have a pretty unique vantage point from New Release Today as the largest Christian music site online to be able to look at the entire scope of what's happening out there and say, that's interesting. This is happening over here. It was the year of worship. We added worship song of the year as a category,
right?
Because it was a huge year in worship. Best cover songs, another category, because a lot of artists are turning to YouTube or even releasing full projects, just cover songs. And so, you start to see these trends emerge, and when they're doing those trends well, it warrants a look, as far as a category. I mean, we had a ton of categories we didn't even use this year that could have worked. It was just, it's a matter of how much do you ask voters to consider in 1 year.
So let me go back, because you said something that in passing, just in your response, that I think our listeners, all 6 of them, need to hear and know about New Release Today. You said that New Release Today was the biggest Christian music site on the internet.
Yes.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
not bad.
We don't say that. We don't say that to pat ourselves on the back. I mean, really, when when New Release Today was developed, what we really wanted to do was create a site that would be a massive collaboration of music fans. This would be a community where Christian music fans could go. And so we built the site to be much like a Wikipedia, where anybody can go on NRT and they can add artists, they can add albums, they can add lyrics and music videos and pictures and connect with each other. And so we have almost every month we have over 80,000 entry points to the site from our from our analytics, from different search engines come into our site. Over 80,000 different pages of content people come into see. And so when we say the largest, it's not because we're like an egotistical thing. It's really it's really from a database standpoint and the sheer amount of content that our community has created. It is the largest, and you're not going to find that content anywhere else.
And it's traffic.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're very excited. We see about 600 to 800,000 people hit the site every month, and it's been fun to watch it. It's been fun to watch it grow, and it's been fun to be able to take a little passionate hobby and see it turn into a full-time passion for many, many people. So.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we thank you for talking to us that, because I'm thinking you're saying like, oh yeah, 600, 800,000 like a month or whatever it was. And I was like, wow, if we get just like one of those listeners, that'd be awesome.
No, I
could go up to 7.
I'm actually one of those people. Like I get your emails, and like I go to the site just to honestly, to be honest, I go to New Release Today to see what's new in music, like in Christian music. Right. It's funny because years ago I was focused. Well, when I was an artist, I was focused just on Christian hip hop. Right. And I don't even know how I found you guys online, but like it was the one place. And I'm going to say it's still the one place where it focuses on Christian music as a whole, rather than just like sites that pigeonhole to just like one genre or one sound. Right. So that's why. I mean, now that I know you guys, it just makes it even better. But that's why, like, I've always loved like NRT. That's why because I can go there and learn about new artists, learn about indie artists. Check out new people, and then just like listen to everything that's on my playlist.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we've taken that passion into what we're doing with the We Love Awards too, and created a place of music discovery, and just another avenue where you can, like you said earlier, you didn't know Lauren had a song on, in the Blade Runner soundtrack. I learned stuff about Christian music from our site every single day. Yep. And
oh, nice.
The other day, I pinged our team and I said, "Hey, did you guys know Switchfoot's coming out with a new movie?" And our team was like, "Yeah, we posted about that like 2 hours ago."
Yeah. and I saw that in the email the other day.
Oh, Switchfoot's coming out with a new movie?
With a new movie and a tour, right? I think it was like 24 or 25, something like that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Got the email.
So, things are moving at breakneck speed, and it's to have a team that's on it. So.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, right? Because and then like I'm gonna ask this question basically just to put it out there because like I said, like we know you guys, and then like we know the passion that you guys have for Christian music, right? Because I think I'm not sure about Marcus, but I know Kevin. I know Kevin. Hold on, let me finish. Maybe it's just 32%. That's that 32%.
32%.
But yeah, you're not gonna hear the end of it, Marcus. I'm just letting you know that right now. So I know that Kevin, Joaquin, and I, like we got a little dusty, right, on the Jesus Freak cruise, right, listening to the old DC Talk music.
Speak for yourself,
dude. I was with you, man.
Yeah.
I saw you get dusty. Right, so.
But I'm not sure if I was going to approve of that comment or deny it.
Right, but like there's no room for a question with the name of the awards show, right? It's like We Love Christian Music Awards. It's like, so what's this award show about? It's the We Love Christian Music Awards. So
We love Christian music. That's it. That is what it is. We love Christian music, and that's what these awards are. It's about what we love about Christian music every year. It is focusing on celebrating the artists that are doing great work, whether they're on a label, whether they're independent, whether nobody but 250 people have liked them on Facebook, but they're killing it in their garage, and they've caught our attention. I mean, that's that Next Big Thing award that you probably came across. Things like that. We want to celebrate what is the best.
I mean, Marcus came up with a hashtag early on with We're All Fans. And I think NRT has grown organically from a hobby. And that hobby has been a passion for Christian music. It's been a calling when I was 13 years old to be involved in Christian music. And God has orchestrated many other people who have that similar passion for Christian music to be involved in NRT and grow it way beyond anything I could have ever dreamed it would be. And so, yes, absolutely. We are first and foremost fans of Christian music. We all grew up with it. We're worship leaders, and we want to do everything we can.
When DC Talk plays.
Yes, will man cry when
Right.
when
True story.
No, yeah,
Yep.
and that's what I love about the title. We love Chris. Because today it seems like, especially in Christendom, as it were, people always trying to come up with maybe clever names to kind of be like, yeah, we're Christians, but we're not going to label ourselves that. So, but it's just kind of like that weird kind of waffle.
That's that thing. That's why I said that, right? Because me as a designer, marketer, whatever, and the guy that people come to like, oh, well, help us with titles or with like branding, right? Like I see that, and like sometimes, you just have to call it what it is, right? It's what it is, and that's it. And that's awesome. That's awesome. So I have.
Well, and
go ahead.
in addition to there's a lot of hate for Christian music out in Christendom because they it's not, what they hear is only a certain kind of format that's played on a lot of radio stations, and they think that's all of Christian music, and they decide that they don't like Christian music. They say it's bad, it doesn't keep up, it's corny. There's a lot of complaints people have. They don't listen to it. And, our response always to that is you have no idea what else is out there. Like,
correct.
There is so much more than what you hear on a certain format of radio that dominates, the airwaves. And there's so much more out there. And that's why we continue to, push forward in many ways, like these awards, is to show whoever will listen that there is great Christian music out there, and there's a lot to love about it.
Yeah, what's funny about that is that it seems too like a lot of people that complain about Christian music are complaining about Christian music that's 20 years old, right? They're like, oh, but that music, it's and then you're like, well, like what
are you
have
listening to?
Have you listened to anything recently? Nah, but when I was 15, I listened, it was garbage. That's like somebody complaining about rock, saying rock is garbage, but all they're talking about is like the hair bands from the 80s, and like that's their comparison. They haven't listened to anything new.
Well, I think for next year's, you need to have a category of like Christian music that non-Christians love, right? And I'm going to say that. I'm going to tell you why. Because a friend of mine who's not a believer, like out of nowhere, he texted me and he asked me to send him like some new hip hop song that he has never heard of because he wants to try to listen to something new. So I sent him a God Over Money song. Just because
Nice.
I'm gonna find every way that I can to evangelize, right? And and he called me. Like he called me. And it's like, yo, I saw what you did there. I know you sent me like some Christian rap song, but like it was like I didn't know Christians made music like that. Like that song,
Right.
like in street terms, he was like, yo, like that song went in. That song was hard. It's like I was blasting it into my car and blasting it into my house until my wife was like, is that a Christian song? Right? So, it's
That's the
go ahead.
Well, I think what you're speaking into is something that's been a little bit of lost. It's a lost art form in this world of all of us hunkering down and being alone in our social universes, but not really being social at all. And
Right.
The power of sharing music, especially Christian music, with others, is something we all should be doing, myself included, a lot more. To just be sharing these messages, and if there's a powerful song that we know will impact people, we need to be proactively sharing that with others, because there's a lot of people who 15 years ago, music wasn't great. You listen to a lot of Christian music from 15 years ago, it does not hold up.
Right.
And unless you're passionate about that environment, you probably have that taste in your mouth, and you haven't. And then what have you got to listen to? You've got radio, you've got the tour, you've got pretty much what mainstream industry is pushing out. Mm-hmm. And then coming back to what Marcus was saying, there's just so much more out there. How are they going to discover it? It needs to be through us and us as listeners and fans of the genre.
And that's what I like about your awards. I'm sorry, like when we're looking through them, it seems like it's probably an even split of kind of established, I guess, mainstream Christian artists, and then like those indie groups that you guys were talking. Because some of those indie groups that you guys have, like I've heard them and I think are super dope. And seeing them, like, oh man, they're getting some recognition. That's amazing. So that's a great thing, because I think those indie groups, those are the ones that I think ends up honestly drawing people in more than the mainstream, because they seem to have that pulse on what's kind of going on in
what's
general
current
culture. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us how you guys came up with all these categories. So what were you going to say, Marcus?
Oh, so that's a huge compliment. We'll take it. That's what we're going for, is not the usual suspects, but honoring, good work where it's due.
Yeah, that was one of the main things that stood out to us, right? When we were looking through the categories and the nominees, well, a lot of things. Oh, we never heard of this guy. Let's throw their music up on YouTube and see what they sound like.
And then we're like, hey, we have heard that song. We just forgot the name of the band.
We didn't know the band. But the fact that you put indie or like non-mainstream indie artists on the same playing field or on the same level as like more mainstream and known and recognized artists, that like speaks volumes to the honor of the music as a whole, rather than just trying to like throw more accolades to these artists that are more recognized in the mainstream. So thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, well, thanks for recognizing that. But what I was going to say is, what's interesting is the past 5 years we've had an Indie Artist of the Year award, Indie Artist or Group of the Year award. And we actually eliminated that this year. And there was some debate internally about why we were going to do that, but ultimately we realized that we're nominating. We don't need a category just for independent artists. We're literally nominating them in almost every category.
Right.
This year we nominated 31 independent artists and groups.
Most we ever had.
It's the most we've ever done, and I think it speaks to what the scope of the industry is putting out right now, and the quality of music too that independent artists are putting out. So it's been a lot of fun.
It's not our future, it's our present. And so we almost need to create a signed artist of the year category.
Yeah.
Very true.
Oh, you're still on a list.
I'm looking at the first category, right? The Hook Award. We gotta talk about these names. We gotta talk about these names afterwards, right? And I'm seeing, right, Cass, right? Who
we love Cass.
Yeah, I mean, she's an Overflow favorite, and Gavi. Well, Gavi is Sign of Reach, right? But then I'm looking right. We Are Leo, right?
Yeah.
We Are Leo. Like I know these guys from the festivals and stuff, and I'm looking at We Are Leo with Torrin Wells, Holland, Gavi, and I'm like, yes, because those guys are awesome. Right, those guys are awesome. I mean, they're awesome musicians and it's an awesome band, and then they're awesome. They're awesome people. So I'm like, yes, this is the award show that like I've been craving, right? Because I'm well, people who listen to us know that I don't mince words, so I don't pay attention to the Dove Awards, right? It's like I just don't. I I don't because
DC Talk's not playing on them anymore, so we don't care.
No, well, I don't. I don't because the Dove Awards is basically, hey, we're gonna give every award we have to these 5 songs that plays on mainstream Christian radio all day, every day. Put a bullet in me. But right, and then years ago when I first moved to Atlanta, there used to be the Holy Hip Hop Awards. That doesn't exist anymore. But even that, after a while, got a little bit tired because it was always the same people.
Yeah, same guys.
Right, it was always the same people just handing awards to each other. So this, like, it's not genre driven, right? It's just music, right? It's music, and I mean, Kevin, we've talked about this. How like my playlist on Spotify is mixed up with a whole bunch of different styles or genres or artists and whatever, and that's what this We Love Christian Music Awards reminds me of, and I freaking love it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, the other thing I think is that we have a little bit of an advantage on, depending on which vantage point you want to look at it. But there's just less politics. I mean, the Dove Awards are very structured. They're on their 60th year, and I mean they're very structured, built within the label system back in the day when that's all that existed, right. And the independent artist was really non-existent. And how the structure works is it's very you apply to be a GMA member, and then the GMA member gets a nomination vote, and then they get a vote in the actual awards. And if you're at a label, you have 100+ employees and artists and management, and they're all part of the GMA, and you've got a big block of people that will be able to vote for you. If you're an independent artist, you have yourself, and you have maybe a manager,
and you
have your mom.
And even she might not like your music.
And she has to be a GMA member at $100 a year. So so you're just at a massive disadvantage, and I think that is why you're not seeing independents being included.
Well, even within that, you're not seeing rock artists nominated or winning these awards either. I mean,
correct,
because the labels of rock.
And only a few years ago, they included Christian hip hop, Christian rap.
Yeah, and I don't want to turn this conversation ever into a label bashing system. We love the labels. We work with them every day. But the reality is the landscape in the past 5 years has dramatically changed, and the system has not.
Right.
And I think the listener and the viewer is seeing that within these awards, within the Dove Awards, and they're kind of scratching their head a little bit, going, "What's going on?" Well, there's a lot of politics behind the scenes going on, and that's what we don't have. We can instantly jump around that, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to touch on 2 of the categories because they're like so I really like this Freebird Award, the art pop album, because I have a bit of a like indie music streak in me every once in a while. Like I've heard like the Royal. I love those dudes.
Never heard of them.
Those dudes are awesome. Like they're so good. So I really like the fact that like that's kind of the that you guys have that, because I kind of like the experimental or the more art pop type stuff, and that's not something you see in Christian music. Push.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Go
ahead.
That's a brand new category for 2017. As we were going through the albums for the past year, we were trying to squeeze them into our normal 2 categories of the Hook Award and it was what was called the Soft Light Award. That was the contemporary inspirational category, and we couldn't because there were so many good albums that deserved to be honored, and a lot fell into this space of, it's not quite like what you'd call pop, but it's still technically pop. It's like darker, not like, thematically, but musically, like that indie vibe. And there was a lot of that this year. And so we wanted to recognize that and created this new award. And then at the same time, there were a bunch of pop-ish albums that didn't quite fit into the contemporary inspirational category. And we're like, well, where are we going to fit a Danny Gokey? We're not going to put Gokey up against Holland or Torn Wells. That doesn't seem right.
Right.
Or, or a Matt or a Mercy Me. And so then that formed the Pop Light Award, which is like a pop contemporary album. So it's definitely contemporary, in terms of its, I don't know, lyrically and even arrangement wise, but it's got the pop sound, underlying. And so that second and third category, Pop Light and the Freebird, were both sort of birthed out of, man, there's just too much going on here in the pop space.
We initially were going to call the Freebird Award the Hipster Award.
We were.
Oh.
We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't think the hipsters would vote for it.
Hipsters aren't listening to music on the internet.
They've heard it all already.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now that we're on this, how did you guys come up with like all these names, right? Like the Inspo Award, which, thank you by the way, because I didn't know that Jackie Velasquez or Nicole Nordeman like still made music. The Encounter Award, like what's up with these names?
I would just like to first point out the pure genius of our Gospel Album of the Year award. Which is brand new for us this year. We've never honored the gospel category.
Oh yeah,
the Soul Vibe Award.
The Soul Vibe. Yeah, what's up with that?
Let's just start with that, and it all goes uphill from there.
It just comes from a desire to be different. That's really all it is. We're trying to have some fun. Instead of just doing the boring pop album of the year, we want to add a fun and unique name to it, and that's really all it is.
That's it. Yeah, and we've renamed them a few times too. I mean, the Inspo started as the Inspo. It was the Soft Light Award. Now it's back to the Inspo. The Hype Award was first called the Vibe Award, which is kind of funny. And then the Amp Award was first called the Rock Fist, ROCK. Then when TFK won it, they changed it to RAWK Fist, and now it's the Amp Award. So, we've played around with that a little bit, and we have fun with it. And then next year we'll probably, if we keep the gospel category, we'll probably rename it. Yeah, we'll maybe come up with a name for us or something. I don't know.
No, you got to leave it the Soul Vibe. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we
I know.
Yeah, we really like the Encounter Award category. We thought was awesome. Like I think you guys had mentioned earlier, just because worship music has been such a huge part of this last year, and we're really proud of the Hype Award. I will say, as hip hop fans, we've heard. Well, we didn't really know the first guy, Dred Sanders, but then we listened to him.
Oh, that's that guy.
Oh, that's that guy.
Well, it's interesting you call that category out, because that's probably the category we're getting the most flack, the most pushback from.
Yep. Why?
Well, who would you say, if you had to say there would be a sixth nominee on there? Who's missing?
J.M. Soto. No, see, all right.
Yeah,
so you brought that up. So let's we're gonna go into that. So let's get into it.
I would say just because of the sheer, like, I would say NF, not just because of the success that he's had with this last album.
That's exactly where a lot of the flack is coming. Is a lot of people love NF, and here's the deal: we kicked this award nomination process to our 3 hip hop staff members. We have 3 of them. Kevin and I love hip hop. We are not experts definitely at the deepest level. We are not experts.
I know this is going to shock you guys.
I know.
What?
Mark Ryan and Josh Gala are 3 incredible, very knowledgeable hip hop writers, and they know far more than we ever will. And we said, okay, guys, here's the deal. You give us the 5 best nominees. You put your heads together and come out with, come up with some, agreement as far as what those 5 will be. Unanimous decision. They did. This is what they came back with, and NF's not on that list.
Did they say why?
They don't love him. They said he was not in that 5.
Did they say why?
No.
I'll say,
They're like, yeah, we don't want to know the whys you didn't put them in categories. That way, if we get asked, we can say, hey, that's what the staff put together.
There's an industry reason. Kevin will get into that.
I mean, NF is very much towing that line. Is he a Christian artist or not? And I think there's been a lot of discussion around that. He has moved from an industry perspective, he has moved from a signee at Capitol label Christian Music Group to Capitol Records. So he's a mainstream artist now. And I know he has. I don't want to get into are you a Christian artist or are you not a Christian artist, but when we're looking at the Christian music industry, I don't know if NF fits there anymore, and I think that's a larger description. I think the other critique is all of these albums on here were simply better liked than NF's album. That doesn't mean that he doesn't belong. But yeah,
right.
I think how I sleep at night is we're 99.5% right, and we might be 0.5% wrong.
Yep.
Right. But you know what? To add to that, right? And this is this is me, Jay speaking. Right.
This is Overflow's
right?
opinion.
This is Jay speaking. This is Jay speaking.
Overflow does not endorse
right?
Jay's opinion.
This is Jay speaking. Knowing NF personally and whatever, like NF has stated that he is not a Christian artist.
Right.
He stated that he's not a Christian artist. So if a guy says he's not a Christian artist, then why should he be nominated on the We Love Christian Music Awards?
He wouldn't promote it anyway.
Right.
I mean, truly.
Right.
His fans would go, but he wouldn't. He would not sign off on it. We've run into that in the past where artists have come to us and go, "Hey, we're not so sure that we want to be associated with this. I mean, you can keep the nomination on there, like thanks, but we're really not going to pretend it exists. And
right.
and in that case, we'd rather have fans of the Christian hip hop subgenre, that are artists in the nominations. We'd rather have 5 artists who are passionate about CHH in there, and so that's it's kind of a no-brainer for us in that respect. And I mean, truth be told, we've got 3 big names in there. We've got KB, who's Reach Records. We've got Prop. We've got Social Club Misfits, who have just skyrocketed in the last year. I mean, so.
And no big deal. Who's on that? He's right on that precipice of really on that just path.
So
yeah. So we're happy with it. I think our team landed in a good spot. I know how I've channeled the frustrations of some voters is we'll vote for him for the Fan Impact Award. And I don't know if you guys saw that. That's the 24th category that is at the very end that you can write in. It's 100% fan voted. There's no nominees. You just say who affected you the most. 2017. Hey, if enough NF fans want to see him honored, they can type it in. Type in 2 letters and hit send. And
make it real easy.
That's it.
But
I mean,
as the non New Release Today staffer that's like really really knowledgeable of CHH, I vouch for all 5. So.
Yeah, sweet. That's high praise.
Yeah, we love it. It's like I grew up with like Christian hip hop. I mean, like from way back in like the late 80s, early 90s, and I've seen it all. And even when like the Dove Awards added hip hop to the hip hop category, even then they weren't really getting it right. And I remember people used to get mad. I was like, well, hey, at least there's a category. Let's celebrate that. But I'm just what I'm excited about, honestly, is just the fact that these are like deserving artists. That are doing really good stuff, and it's not the same, 4 guys that
it's not the Reach Records Award,
or or RMG or whatever. Just like the same, okay, these are the only 2 labels, so those are the only people that we're
right,
that we're putting on there, and just it's always exciting to see really good hip hop being,
it's
presented.
It's funny because I was with. I had an event with No Big Deal last Friday, and when the nominations came out, like I asked, I celebrated. I was like, "Hey, yo, you got nominated! You got nominated for We Love Christian Music Award." and he like had no idea.
Wow.
He had no idea. He's like, are you serious? Really? Where can I see? So now he's gonna start promoting and pushing that.
You know, that's so cool. I feel really good about these nominees because, I mean, the truth is, every year when we go through the nomination process, we try to get better at it as a team, and we try to, we try to make sure that the gravity of bigger artists doesn't just suck us in. I mean, to be totally transparent, the first 4 years, Andy Mineo and Lecrae traded off the wins for that award. It was Lecrae, Andy. Last year, Derek Minor won it, and then who knows what it'll be this year. But I like the prospect of, and throughout that process, we have had some up and comers in there and the lesser knowns, but I think this year there's more parity. It feels a little bit more balanced. Yeah, a little more balanced. I mean, even though KB is a titan within those five, but social, it can go any which way, and I like that. I like that somebody like
and I like that about. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say and that's what I like about just the whole awards in general. Let's get out of this hip hop for a second because there's another category I'm really interested in you guys. But that's the thing is like it's not an anti-Titan thing, but it's it's the fact that everyone's getting a shot, and then some of these indie artists, they might not win, but they're gonna get that exposure, and that's what's exciting. My question is EP of the year category. Is that something that you guys have done? Is that a newer category? Is that something you guys have had for a while? And what kind of why do an EP of the year?
Yeah, it's year 3, I think, on that one. And the truth is, nobody, whether it's mainstream or in the Christian industry, does recognize the EP as its own size of, an album that has its own focus, its own storytelling format as a shorter form. And, just like in movie awards, there's, short films that get awarded. That's the best way to equate it here. This is like a short film award. And there are people that will make EPs that are better than anybody's full length because they were able to focus and put their time and energy into it. And so we're like, man, there's so many EPs. And we did that the first year because we felt like it was a trend. There were a ton of them. And then, we've kept it going every year because that continues, short form continues to be what we're seeing, not just because it's a trend, but because, it's financially and it's expedient and they can get more music out faster. And so we've really loved having that category because nobody else does.
It also felt like it was almost needed because there was so much good music coming out on these EPs, but to put them up against a full-length album always seemed to be a little unfair. I mean, you're putting 4 or 5 songs up against a 10 to 12 song project. It just didn't feel right. So I love that we have this category. No one else does it. And it's really reflective of where the industry is at right now, which is
it is
single driven and also digital EP driven.
It is like it's funny because whenever artists or wannabe artists come to like Joaquin or I to ask for like advice on what to
mostly
do,
Jay, and I stick my nose in it.
Right? It's like, you should, instead of trying to work on a full 12-song project, you should work on like a 4 or 5 song EP and just like be consistent in putting those out every 3 to 4 months, right? And then even at the end, you can like put 3 projects together and that'll be a full album.
Yeah, you add a remix and then you're done.
But yeah, that's exactly where the industry is now. So I have.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you really have to have your act together if you're a band nowadays and you put out a full-length album and then sit on that for, 16, 24 months. That's just not going to happen unless you're Skillet, unless you can go out and tour the same album for 3 years and drive it into the ground. It's just not reality. People want more music more often, and they want it now. They don't want to wait. 18 months, you're irrelevant. So you better be releasing more music more often.
Right, but these days with everything being electronic and Spotify and SoundCloud and like kids making music, in their basement or making music in their bedroom and putting out content like almost daily. Like it's really hard to still do things the old way. Full albums tour. It's not the same. Like the landscape of music is not the same now. Like, you gotta.
Yeah. Who knows one day if we decide to get rid of the album of the year category, because everyone's doing EPs, but EP, what I love, this category is awesome because you've got a pop artist, you've got, contemporary, you've got, an alternative group. Need to Breathe is kind of pop rock alternative. You got Corinne Hawthorne, who's gospel, and Plum, she's all over the map. It's more like electronic contemporary.
Right.
And, I love that category because it's all over the place, just like album of the year, but, diverse musically.
So when do the awards take place? Because you guys, this isn't an online awards show, right?
Before we get to that,
okay, go ahead.
I just want one more category that I'm curious about. Just because, so as I'm looking through, right, group of the year, female artist, male, all that makes sense. The songs, movie songs makes the collaborations. That actually makes sense to me because you get a lot of artists that are now, I think, really a lot in the last several years have been just working together more. But this category, the mainstream impact award, that one kind of caught my attention, and it's funny that it's all the way at the very end. And not just because Lionel Richie's picture is on there, but can you explain that category to me, where and why that's on there? I guess.
You said we needed a category that was Christian music for people who don't like Christian music, and I think this is as close to that as we have right now because these are artists that will find their way outside of the bubble one way or the other. There's one exception in there. One of those things doesn't look like the other, and it's the first nominee, and that's Dude Perfect. But really, it's people that are making a positive contribution to greater society within, using Christian music. And Dude Perfect is, I don't know if you know who they are, but they're a big, YouTube channel. And they use Christian music almost exclusively in their videos. And so they've promoted a lot of Christian music with their viral. I mean, every video they have 1 million+ views. Huh. And so with that, David Zach of Remedy Drive, I mean, he's dedicated his life and his band, for that matter, his whole career, he's staked on his passion to combat the sex trafficking industry in Southeast Asia. And so that is, and not only that, he was, speaking out against, civil rights injustices at home, and he was like on the news and stuff for that. And so he's become something much bigger than music. He's trying to lead a revolution of people who care about those that are oppressed. Right. And then Natalie Grant, of course, did the huge online broadcast that brought in $500,000 for Hurricane Harvey relief. She brought all her friends together for a recording that was on Facebook Live. That was it. But it had,
I didn't know about that either.
And so that's why she's on there. I mean, there's going to be some very real impact to the mainstream from what she did. Switchfoot's on there because they've also, they every year do this Bro-Am Surf Week where they benefit, the at-risk youth in San Diego, and of course then they did a song with Lifehouse to benefit Hurricane Harvey relief also, and then Torrin, his is really that he's just been bringing the message of Jesus in his songs on this. He was on this tour with Lionel Richie and Mariah Carey singing about Jesus to hundreds of thousands of people over the length of the tour he was on. So just his piece out there. So really it's that category is all about who's out there being a great representative of Christ in Christian music.
What's interesting about this category is we introduced it 2 years ago. 21 Pilots won it the first year, nice. Which is a mainstream rock band.
Right.
And then last year, Tori Kelly won it, who is a mainstream pop artist.
Right.
But both have incredible faith within their music. They're both very vocal about it. It's on record. It's in the lyrics. And so really this category is about, okay, let's bust out of the bubble and find out who's making an impact within faith-based music ministry. Yep, that's it.
So it's a little different this year. The lineup is everybody, I mean, besides Dude Perfect again, that's already in the industry, but they are making, strides outside and making a real impact.
That's awesome.
That we're out of it. It's more of a philanthropic focus this year, I think, and I like that.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
You're going to have me look up Dude Perfect videos.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask my son.
Yeah, man.
He probably knows
awesome.
them.
They're bros. That's the bro channel because, they do all these tricks and stuff that you want to do with free time you don't have. So.
Yeah, you say 21 Pilots. My son introduced me to 21 Pilots. Right? He was like, oh, you got to listen to this band. They have they talk a lot about God and Jesus in their music. And I'm like, okay. And I looked them up and I heard their music. Like, Papito, they're Christian. It's like the brothers are Christian. It's like, oh, I knew it. You see, it's awesome. Right? So, you gotta. That's why it's good to have teenagers. They keep their finger on things. But
that's right. My teenager in the office, Kevin, introduced me to 21 Pilots.
Yeah, it's funny. My son is my gauge, right? So whenever, and this is bad, but like artists know this. They know this about me. If any new artist sends me music and wants me to like give them my opinion or for me to tell them what I think about it and to help them out, it's like, all right, well, let me give it to my son, right? Because that's your demo. So if my son likes it, then I'll let you know, and I'll let you know what he said. If he doesn't, then, I'll let you know what he said. So
then you won't hear from me.
They're so right now. They're like, no, but you listen to it first. Don't let your son hear it. You tell me first. Like, no, I'm like, I don't listen to this music. But anyway, where do
our kids are getting?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I said our kids are getting to that age too, where they will be our gauge very soon.
Hey, it's necessary. The older we get, our the things we want to listen to, it changes. Right, it changes because real like for real, like when I was working the festivals and booking the hip hop artists and running the stages and all that, like I I listened to like maybe 2 hip hop songs out of like everything that I listened to. I wasn't really listening to hip hop. I was like stuck. I'm still stuck on like this worship thing that I'd rather listen to just worship than any of the music that I work with. So. Hey, I threw it out there.
No,
if you didn't know, now you know.
I'm confident that Kevin and I will both be listening to electronic dance music late into our 80s.
Yes.
So,
I believe it.
No worries there.
Is that a new category this year, or was that always there?
The BPM has been there since the beginning because although it was kind of weird this year, we've been aware of a lot of DJs making great electronic dance music, but this year it sort of quieted down as the production mainly was centered on worship.
Right.
And so see in that category we've got we've got 3 out of the 5 are worship acts. Fearless Band, SEU Worship, and Versus are all worship acts, but they've got incredible producers that are making electronic dance music that has worshipful lyrics to it. And the other 2, are in earnest EDM producers. But outside of that, there really wasn't much in 2017. It took in the year of worship, it took really a worship turn that year.
You know that in this category, I have to vote for DJ Kirk because that's my Minnesota DJ. That's my dude. So I have to vote for him. So sorry to the rest of the guys.
Hey, right, and he's one of the few pure EDM albums on that list. So
yeah, I actually play his album a lot still. Like when he first put it out, he sent it to me, and I'm like, yes, I can listen to this driving to work. I'm good. So what are the awards? What do you guys have the awards? Like the actual awards show.
Interesting answer. I think with everything with the awards, we've set it up to be different every year. So we actually produce a physical trophy, which is pretty unique for a web-based award show. So we produced a physical trophy. It has looked different every single year, and this year it's going to look different. Our awards look different, and how we present them is going to look different. We were out with the Rock and Worship Roadshow early on, and we did a live announcement from the Roadshow, which was really cool. And then we moved into kind of like a documentary style 2 years ago, which we did on YouTube. And then we did more of that's what we called our love letter to the industry. You heard me mention that early on the show. It was a hour and a half, 3-part documentary on why we love Christian music.
Yep. We interviewed artists. They did, special performances and team ups, and yeah, it was really cool. If you haven't seen it, you can go to youtube.com/WeLoveAwards and watch it. I mean, it was just, it turned out really amazing. There was a lot of cool moments in there that you're not going to see anywhere else.
We'll put that link on our site so people can go and see it.
Cool. Last year, we actually got a pretty amazing opportunity. Juice TV called us and asked if they would be able to produce an entire awards show around the We Love Christian Music Awards. And we thought about it for about 2 seconds and then said, yes, please. And it actually happened. And Jay, it was absolute highlight of our career.
Absolutely.
That day. We had an hour and a half recorded live to tape actual award show with artists and everything. It was way cool.
Yep.
And it celebrated the entire industry. We had Derek Minor, we had Zealand Worship, and then
we had a sick collab by the Grey Havens and Bizzle.
I saw amazing. That. I saw that earlier when I jumped on your page earlier because I wanted to hear the little videos you guys put out for the nominations. I saw that. That was dope. And I also like how you guys used B Right. I can never get his name right. B Right. Where he did I think it was for the EP awards, where he did like snippets of all the different artist songs. He sung them.
Did a lot of them.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Jenny Owens did as well, and really what we want is we ask every artist. We go, what we don't want is you to show up and sing your song. That's what everybody else does. What we would like
pushback too.
Yeah,
nice.
What we would like is to do original medley, and then you can sing your song at the end. But we want something different that people aren't going to get anywhere else. So we did that. We started that with our documentary, continued that with the We Love Awards. I believe we're going to continue it with this year. I can't really say what we're going to do yet because it's still very much in flux.
Yep.
And nothing's really confirmed and set in stone.
I will say we're working with our sponsor, which is Visible Music College, and we're working with some potential nonprofits to partner with to make this a little bit more of a philanthropic focus this year.
So it's going to look different. I think every year what we want to do is we want to focus as much attention as we can on the nominees as a whole. The winners of the awards, I don't want to say they're an afterthought, but it's definitely not our main goal. We want to focus on, look, here are the 80-plus albums we think everybody should be listening to, not the 12 that the fan base voted to the top in each category. Right. So it's fun. We do it different every year. We'll hopefully be announcing that here sometime in January.
Awesome.
Okay.
So even the awards show in and of itself, however it looks, still like celebrates and honors Christian music as a whole rather than just, hey, look, this is the artist. Here's his 2-minute speech and sit down.
Exactly, which is what you get on like the Grammy Awards. You know, I mean, and a winning artist will come out and perform their song for 6 minutes. We actually went to the artist and go, we want to focus on the nominees. So why don't you perform the 5 nominee songs, put it together into a really original 5-minute performance, and knock that out. And so that's really the spirit of the awards portion.
That's so sick, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
We're excited.
What else you got, Kenito?
That's it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what you guys are gonna do for the awards, and I'm as we're talking, I'm thinking I'm counting my vacation days to make sure I have enough, because if it's definitely something we want to try to travel to if we can. You know, I'm not. I don't know that I want to go
It'd
to.
be awesome.
I don't know that I'm going to go to
As soon as
Idaho to go see it.
Dude, let's do a cruise. That's what we do. The We Love Cruise.
Oh my God.
That's what we need to do.
That's yeah. We definitely need to do that.
All right, let's put a pin on that one. That germinate for a little bit.
That would be awesome. But voting is open now, right? And until January 27th, right? Where do people go to vote?
People can vote at weloveawards.com.
And as much as they want, and they don't even have to vote the same way twice. Do whatever you want. Until January 26th, and then spread the word. It's been cool to see artists buy in better than ever already this year, and we're doing well. We've just crossed the 7,000 vote range, and
wow.
That's awesome. Early. We're only a handful of days into this, and so it's going to be a big year.
Wow. So we're gonna post the video, right, of the documentary style thing that you did.
We'll post that
We'll
up.
post that on the site. We're gonna post a direct link to the voting on the This Is Outcry site.
And I noticed you guys have a Spotify playlist. That's of all the artists that have been nominated?
Yep, I put a song for each nomination for each artist. So
okay, yeah. So
they have 4 nominated songs in there. So yeah,
I'll definitely share that. I was listening to it a little bit earlier today. I was loving it.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
it's a good group.
We also have nomination videos for every category as well. So, you can get a 10, 15-second taste of every nominee if you need it. And you can watch those on our YouTube channel as well.
Punctuated by my silky voice.
It did sound silky. So
Guys, I had to put so many effects on that thing.
Yeah, whatever.
He was using one of those voice modulators that changes your voice, and-
he borrowed it from Batman.
yeah.
Nice. Nice, Kevin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, this is awesome. We're so excited because we are also big fans of Christian music. It doesn't matter the age or the year or whatever. It's like our whole life.
Yeah, I'll break out in some Carmen every once in a while.
Carmen, man. I have an Imperials playlist that I play all the time, man. my kids are like, "What is that? What are you listening to?" But by now they all know the words, right? And that's like from the 70s, so forget about it. It's like, yeah, I'm dating myself right now, but
Nice.
but it's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, I think it's time to end this.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap you guys up before we wrap ourselves up. So
Thanks for.
oh, sorry, say it again.
Listen, thanks for having us.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for being willing to, talk to us. And just this conversation was great. As always, it was great talking to you guys. You guys were part of the best thing on the. You guys were like number 2 on the cruise. Number 3 because we got Roy. So we have our buddy Roy.
Oh my gosh,
he's
Roy.
number 1. DC Talk was number 2.
For me, DC Talk is number 1.
And then you guys,
and then Cruise Pizza.
And the Cruise Pizza, Kevin's favorite. But no, thank you. Really, we want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for just being willing to come jump in here on us and just sharing your passion for Christian music and it's so exciting to see this. Like when I was growing up, this is what I would have wanted.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I guess, we're all probably like very similar to age. And so we're all like, yeah, this is what we would have wanted when we were kids. This would have been the best. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Love talking to you guys.
But one thing, I'm going to take back what Joaquin said. And, let us know when and where, and we'll be there. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go to Idaho. I'll go to Idaho. I've never been to Idaho.
I'm just kidding. I will go to Idaho.
Won't be here.
All right. So thanks, fellas. And we'll talk to you guys hopefully, soon.
Yeah. If you're
right.
not tired of us already.
Bye.
All right, fellas. We'll talk to you guys. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Wow, they just kind of hung up real quick, didn't they?
like
Bye, click. So, dude,
Enough.
that was Jay's gonna knock everything out, and then we're gonna not have nothing. Dude, that was
pretty awesome.
That was awesome, and so let's not talk bad about them, just in case they listen, and then
You're so dumb.
you know
We're
what's kidding, guys.
What's great about them? I mean, besides the fact that they're just like cool guys and
Yeah, just genuine people.
real genuine, real sincere people, but like they love God so much, and they love like the music dedicated
To him.
so much that like everything about New Release Today, everything about We Love Christian Music Awards, like it's like you can feel their passion for
Yes.
everything that they're involved in, and it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, it's always nice to yeah, it's just not it's one of those things where, when people talk about, I don't want to just do a job. I want to do something I'm passionate about. Like I work, like for me personally, right? Like I work
Yeah.
a job.
Right.
Right. I go in, punch my time in, whatever. Now, it's a pretty good job, right? Good schedule, whatever. But it's, I don't get up in the morning excited to go do corporate security.
Right.
But but these guys are gonna do what they love, and so I think that's part of that passion that you hear, just coming out of out of them. So I'm really excited about finding out. I know I was like, whoa, we were good, whatever, but I definitely want us to figure out a way, even if it's just to sit in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just to sit there as fans, and just be like, oh my goodness, like it's not even an issue of going like, oh, can you guys get us backstage? I don't care. If just to go and support them,
Right.
just to be an audience member for them. Like that's, like it's I guess if you wanted to say like if there was like a ranking or whatever, right? Of like just to be fans of Christian music and of them
And what they're doing, yeah.
and what they're doing, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's I love how God is, right? Because I met Kevin at one of the festivals, Creation
Right.
Fest,
Yeah, I remember you told me
right?
about him.
And like to be honest, I thought that Kevin worked for New
them.
Release Today.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because of how genuine he was and how
Right.
like real down to earth and just cool and really
Right.
like he was so chill.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought he was just like an employee working a job, and but then Chris Chicago was like, nah, dude, like New Release Today is his. Like that's
and that's
the man. Right?
It's like and I think that's why probably one of the reasons why we like those guys so much is because in life, we've met people that run things.
Right.
And they put on this kind of airs about themselves because, especially if it's something that's popular or even semi-popular, maybe just popular locally, but it's like, well, I do.
Well, this is
this.
who I am. So
It's like the perfect example is like I was working at a Christian bookstore in Macon. I've told you this story before. I don't think I've shared it on the podcast. And this pastor came up.
yes.
Right, they wanted to order a robe, right? He wanted to get a robe, and he was dressed to like the nines. His wife dressed to they were like sharp.
He had his armor bearer.
No, it was just him and his wife. And so he goes, oh yeah, we want to order a robe, and I'm like, okay, pastor. I said, okay, pastor, give me a second, and I'll get the person that does the measurements. And he stopped me, and he was like, it's bishop. Or no, or was it apostle? I can't remember. It was one of those titles, right? It's like apostle. It's apostle. And I remember I kind of looked at him, and you know me, like I just want to. I might not say something, but I'll give you that look, like sometimes it's just kind of like, and I'm the whole time.
The side eye game was strong with you that day.
I had to force. I was like, keep a straight face, because
This is my job. This
I'm
is my
working.
job.
Yeah, man. But I'm just like, I want to be like, really? What? Okay, pastor. And it's like it's when you run into people with that kind of attitude, regardless of what it is,
that arrogance,
what it is they're running, that you just kind of like, you know what? I'll talk to you because you're doing something that's interesting, and I want to know about it, but I don't want to have I don't want to sit down and eat with you,
right?
Kind of a thing.
Yeah,
but, and that was just so great about
we can't be friends.
Yeah, and that was so great about these guys, man. Is that you just it's more like, hey, I'm Kevin, I'm Marcus. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
and then it's like, then later on in the conversation, somewhere it might be like, oh, well, I run this side or whatever.
And that's why it was so easy when we were in Miami,
right?
For me to go drive to the hotel
And get them and
get them
connect.
so they can just hang out with us and with the family, right?
Right.
Oh, look, it's my sisters. This is it was real easy because they made it easy.
Yes.
Right. They made it easy. So yeah. It was
So
really cool.
So guys, listen, those of you that are listening, definitely go newreleasetoday.com.
Sign up for the email updates.
For the email, go to We Love Christian Music Awards. What was it? It was
I think it was We Love Awards.
We Love. Let's see. I'll tell you here in a second.
But
or I won't.
All the links to everything will be
on New Release Today. But we'll also have all the links.
Right, we're gonna have links on thisisourcry.com that'll connect you back to New Release Today and to
if you have Spotify,
to the We Love Awards.
If you have try that again. If you have Spotify, we'll link the Spotify playlist, because that's what I did today. I took a little nap earlier before you shut up, and that's what I was listening to. I was like, oh snap, they got a playlist. I opened it up and just had it playing in the background. Because I'm really curious to find out about some of these artists. So yeah, that way you can check out,
and discover new music,
discover
really new artists,
cool new music. That's what it's about.
And New Release Today, I mean, you heard how big they are, and they are, like I said earlier, they cover all music. Right, all Christian music. Right, it doesn't matter what genre. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
If you listen to it, it's on You Release Today.
You know how I know that? You know how I know this is true when they said that? Because when I was on their YouTube page.
Yeah.
And once we sign off, I'll show you, because you're gonna be like, ha ha ha. Like they had a Michael English video of a song that he'd released this year.
Michael English?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. I was like, Michael English? And he doesn't, remember he had kind of that longish 90s hair or whatever?
Yeah.
But he's got it all short now. And I was like, that doesn't, and I kind of kept looking like, that's Michael English.
Michael English is
especially when he started singing. I was like, that's definitely him.
That's why I said what I said. I didn't know Nicole Nordeman was still making music.
So that's how I know they're legit. They cover all the bases.
Wow, Michael English.
Michael English, who's was big in the 90s. He had a little bit of a bump and kind of disappeared.
And then he came back.
And then kind of came back.
And he's the ultimate Married Did You Know guy.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So, wow, that's dope. Yeah. We'll check that out.
We'll check it out. But,
So it's the We Love Christian Music Awards, right? Sign up. Vote for your favorite artist. Vote for your favorite song, right? Listen to the playlist, and then discover new artists and new music. Yes. And then go back to the site and vote for them. Right?
And share it. Don't be, the one thing, and to kind of bring it to let's have a little Jesus moment right here. The one thing that, when Kevin was talking about, Kevin and Marcus were I think it was Kevin. He's like, we are unashamedly, right, fans of Christian music.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. He was like, we're, and I think that there's something to that when we really strive and we really hunker down and become fans of Jesus, then it's easy to then become fans of the things that celebrate Jesus.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that, I think that's a problem that we wrestle with nowadays, is when people are talking about, well, don't label me this or don't label me that or this, that, or the other. Now, I'm not trying to cast any kind of aspersions. I'm not trying to cast anything on people, but I want us to really think about the idea, right? And that is that, when we try to, when we try to say that, oh, well, I'm a Christian, but I'm not this or I'm not that or whatever, let's become fans of Jesus, and then become fans of the things that,
that celebrate
him. That's like me and Jay, we have this running thing with Christian movies, where we'll see, I like watching Christian movies, even some of the bad ones. and so me and Jay have had these conversations before where Jay's like, oh no, it was just too bad I couldn't watch it, you know. And I was like, well, you know, but they're doing something that's uplifting, and we gotta support the growth, because if you don't support the growth, you know, if you don't, it's kind of like when a kid's learning to walk. You know, if you don't support him when he's walking, you know, you're holding his hands and he's walking, and then you know, as he becomes a little more independent, you know, you don't hold him as much, and maybe you just kind of like, you have the hover hands, right?
Yeah,
you know,
definitely,
right. You have the hover hands as they're kind of taking their tentative steps, and then all of a sudden you're just like, stop! You know, they're like a couple of Sundays ago, where remember when Cal like took off. And you're like, Cal, stop it! I ended up chasing him. Yo, he like
he took off.
And he went out.
He went outside.
He went out the front of the church, and he runs by the girl. I tell the girl, stop him! Like he was like a little criminal. Stop him! And then you know, somebody like blocked him enough to be able to like snatch him up. You know, and so that, I think is especially for me and Jay, is we kind of grew up in some of the things that people talk bad about Christian music, but the thing is that. You know, we gotta love Jesus, so we can love the things that celebrate him, and just not be ashamed of it. Period. Yes, I like Christian music. Yeah, somebody one time asked me, "What do you like to listen to?" I'm like, you know, it's weird because I tend to listen.
We love Christian music.
We love Christian music. We love Christian movies. Yeah, some of them are corny. Some of them are good.
Most.
You know.
The word you're looking for is most.
According to Jay, most. Me, some. But the thing is that, you know, there's people are doing them, and we need to celebrate. And we need to celebrate people when they go out on that limb to do something, right? Because it's real easy. The one thing we've learned, right, especially in today's media-rich or social media-rich society, it's always real easy to criticize from the comfort of your own home, right, or from the comfort of the coffee shop. You know, oh, this is terrible, or that's terrible, or this isn't any good. I mean, it's okay to say I don't like something, but it's not okay to just trash something. And so I think that as believers, as children of God, you know, we always like to say that, you know, God looks at his creation, and you know, we're the children of God, and he loves us, and you know, that's how we need to. I think that's how we need to kind of the same way God looks at us is the same way I think we need to think about looking at the things that celebrate him. You know, these things are created from the heart, from people that love Jesus. Might not be my thing, you know, but it could be somebody else's, and we need to share that. And we need to not be ashamed of that. And that's the great thing about this award. We love Christian music. Not we love positive music.
Or conscious music. And get out of here with that noise. We love Christian music.
We love Christian
music.
We love
all things Jesus and all things that celebrate Jesus.
And so, and so, you know, that's your quotable. I mean, I pulled out a dope quotable for the day, for this episode. Right?
Say it again.
You know, we need to love Jesus, right? We need to fall in love with Jesus so that we can love the things that celebrate Jesus.
Boom, baby.
So be on the lookout for that great quote. Jay will put out, I don't believe in putting out my own quotes. I believe in letting somebody else put my quotes out for me.
You believe in Jay putting out your quotes for you.
I'm not arrogant. But you better put that out. So were you looking up a verse or something?
Nah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's the thing we wanna leave with for today is just go to the site, support these guys, great guys. We love these guys to death, and fall in love with Jesus more, and fall in love with the things that celebrate him. So that's my closing. You have anything, Jay?
Love you, and thanks for listening.
All righty. So this is Joaquin.
And I'm still Jay.
And this is the Overflow Podcast. Till next week.
Peace. Thanks for listening. Remember to head on over to thisisoutcry.com for more content. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Stitcher.